Hi all, today we are going to discuss about single phase symmetrical and asymmetrical semiconverters. So let us see what are these things. So in the last class we have seen the semiconverter which is consisting of 2 thyristors and 3 diodes. So that is used in practice for all the industrial purpose. So in some books you may observe that it can be constructed only with 2 thyristors and 2 diodes also, but this is not used in practice. But as this is there and it can come in the competitive exams, so that's why I am discussing today. So let us see one by one. First one is a symmetrical semiconverter. So out of 2 thyristors and 2 diodes, so it will be connected in such a way each branch or each series circuit or each leg is having 1 thyristor and 1 diode. So this leg is having 1 thyristor and 1 diode. This leg is also having 1 thyristor and diode. That's why this is called as symmetrical semiconverter. So the advantage of this symmetrical semiconverter is you can see both the cathodes of thyristor T1 and T2 are connected together. We know that the gate triggering pulse is applied between the cathode and the gate. So as the cathode is common for both, so same gate circuit can be used for triggering both the thyristors. That means only one gate circuit is required which will produce the pulses in each half cycle. So whichever thyristor is forward biased, that thyristor will turn on, and the second thyristor, as it will be reverse biased, anyway it is not going to respond. So this saves the cost drastically. So that is the major advantage of symmetrical semiconverter. So let us see the operation of this one. Let us assume I have connected my supply to the terminals A and B. So this A is connected through some thyristor T1 and this B is connected through some thyristor T2 to your load, and this second side of these limbs are connected to diode D1 and D2, and your load voltage I am representing by V0, and let us take your load current to make the analysis easy. I am assuming your load current is pure DC because inductor is there. I can assume it as a pure DC or a constant output voltage is there. So the analysis will be easy. So let us start at the instant of alpha. That means at the instant of alpha, let us assume the thyristor T1, that means triggering pulse is applied to both the thyristors. So you can see during the positive half cycle of your supply, you can see the voltage of terminal A is positive with respect to B. When the terminal A is positive with respect to B, you can see the thyristor T1 is forward biased and B is negative, that means thyristor T2 is reverse biased. So when the triggering pulse is applied to both, as only this thyristor is forward biased, it will turn on. So thyristor T1 will turn on. Now what happens? This A will be connected to your output here. That means A is connected here. So now this coming here. So this B, because B is negative, because of the negative, what happens? Diode D1 is forward biased. So as the diode D1 is forward biased, the circuit will be closed like this. So B will be connected here. That means B will be connected here. That means your output voltage is equal to VAB. It is following VAB and it is following your output. So up to pi. So your output is following up to pi. So which are conducting during this time? So thyristor T1 is conducting and diode thyristor T1 and diode D1 is connecting. Agree with me? So remaining things we will draw again. So let us complete this one. So at omega t is equal to pi, after omega t is equal to pi, what happens? Your supply voltage is becoming negative. So when your supply voltage become negative means this terminal A is negative with respect to terminal B, or otherwise we can tell that terminal B is positive with respect to A. So as the terminal B is positive with respect to A, now what happens? This diode D2 will be forward biased. Agree with me? I am repeating once again. So when the output voltage is becoming negative, the meaning of a negative means the upper terminal A is negative with respect to B, or we can tell that this is connected here because B, this diode is short circuited here because it is a closed circuit. So this B is applied here and A is here, and A is negative with respect to B after pi. So that's why diode D2 will also be forward biased. When the diode D2 is forward biased, what happens? This will form a closed circuit like this. Already thyristor T1 is conducting and now diode D2 also will start conducting. So both the thyristor T1 and diode D2 are connected. That means there is a short circuit here. As there is a short circuit, what is the meaning of this? Your output voltage will be 0. Your output voltage will be 0 for this duration. And which are conducting during this duration? So thyristor T1 is conducting and diode D2 is conducting. So now when the diode D2 is conducting and thyristor T1 is conducting, so what happens? Thyristor T1, because this forms as a closed circuit, so automatically output voltage is equal to 0. Agree with me? As a thyristor T1, you can see here this A, because this acts as a closed switch, A is coming here and this B is connected here. So across your thyristor T2, what is the voltage? Thyristor T2 is forward biased. Agree with me? Because B is connected here, A is connected here, thyristor T2 is forward biased, but it is in the forward blocking condition. It is not conducting previously. And now coming to the diode D1, because this B, because the entire current, because this acts as a short circuit, the current only prefers to pass through this path, so the current will only pass through this path. Diode D1 will become inactive. So at this instant, again thyristor T2, again triggering pulse is applied. Now thyristor T2 is forward biased, so T2 will start conducting. When the T2 start conducting, what will happen? When T2 is conducted, this B reaches here. So this B is applied here, A is applied here, B is positive with respect to A, so thyristor T1 is reverse bias. I am repeating once again, when the thyristor T2 is forward biased and triggered, because B is positive, this B will come here, this will go to your load. As this B is applied across this thyristor T1, so what will happen to the thyristor T1? Thyristor T1 is reverse biased and it will turn off. Thyristor T1 is reverse biased and it will turn off. Now how the output will come? Thyristor T2 will be connected to your output. That means B is connected to your output. It will pass like this and it will come here. So now what happens? Through the diode D2, it will return back to your supply. Through the diode D2, it will return back to your supply. That means during this time, what will conduct? T2 will conduct and D2 will conduct. Now again, this will happen up to 2 pi. So after 2 pi, again what happens? Again, so now it will again change to T2 and D1. So because of this, your output voltage will be equal to 0. Again, same thing will continue. In this manner, it will come. So let us go to the supply voltage. So supply voltage, again, before proceeding further, let me explain the entire concept once again, so that the concept will be completely clear to you. Then we will proceed further. So during the positive half cycle, so we know the thyristor T1 is forward biased. So thyristor T1, I have applied the triggering pulse. When I apply the triggering pulse, what happens? Thyristor T1 will act as a closed switch. The current will pass like this. It will pass through your RL load. It will come back from here through the diode D1. It will return back. So let me represent with a blue color. The current will pass like this. So this thyristor, it will pass. It will go to your output. So through your diode, it will return back. Through your diode, it will return back to your supply. Agree with me? So now at what happens, up to from alpha to pi, it will continue in the same way. So after pi, what happens? Your output voltage VAB is becoming negative. When VAB is becoming negative, the meaning of that one is VAB is becoming negative, or B is positive with respect to A. When B is positive with respect to A, so now what happens? Because B is positive, so this diode is getting reverse biased. When this diode get reverse biased, so this will block, this will be reverse biased and it will block. So now what happens? This diode D2 get forward biased and it will act as a closed path. So it will start acting as a closed path. I am repeating once again, when the B is positive, because this terminal is connected here, so this point is positive with respect to A, because A is negative, B is positive, this diode D2 is forward biased and diode D1 is reverse biased. Now what happens? The current will transfer from D1 to D2. Now thyristor T1 will continue to run because inductor will not allow the sudden change in current. So now thyristor T1 and D2 will conduct from pi to until the next pulse, that means pi plus alpha. At pi plus alpha, what we do? We are triggering the thyristor T2. When you are triggering the thyristor T2, now T2 is already forward biased because B is positive. So now what happens? This will act as a closed switch. So B is connected here. So voltage across the thyristor T1 will be equal to VBA or VAB. It is reverse biased and it will turn off. Now T2 will take over the current. So now how the output current will pass? Through the thyristor T2, through RL load, through D2, it will return back. So same thing I have mentioned, T2 and D2 will conduct up to again duration of 2 pi. Again at 2 pi, what will happen? Now T2 will be there. Now whatever the current is carried by D2, that will be taken over by D1. So output voltage will become equal to 0. So similar way here also what will be the value? So here also T2 and D1 will conduct. I hope this is clear up to now. Let us proceed for the source value of the current. So when the source can conduct because source can supply only if output voltage is non-zero. Either the thyristor T1 or T2 is conducting. Agree with me? So the output voltage will come for this much duration only. So from here to here. So this will be because of thyristor T1 and D1. Again, when the thyristor T2 and D2 are conducting, when the thyristor T2 is conducting, how the current will be there? Current will be from B to the load and through D2, through A it will return back. It is in opposite direction to the reference current direction. That's why the current supplied from your source will be opposite here. So for this much duration it will come like this, and this will be my source current. Now coming to voltage across the thyristor 2. Voltage across the thyristor 2. So at the instant of alpha, because T1 is triggered, so automatically thyristor T2 get reverse biased. So it will follow your source voltage. So it will follow the voltage. Up to how much maximum value it will reach? It will reach up to V maximum. And it will continue up to the triggering pulse of pi plus alpha. So at pi plus alpha, again what happens when the triggering pulse is applied? Thyristor T2 is forward biased because T2 is conducting. So again voltage across the thyristor will become 0. So now if you observe here, the thyristor T2 is reverse biased from which duration to which duration? It is reverse biased for this much duration. So TC. So this TC is for pi minus alpha. So same thing I have represented here. It is pi minus alpha divided by omega seconds. It is pi minus alpha divided by omega seconds. So now let us go for the next one, asymmetrical semiconverter. In asymmetrical semiconverter, the diodes are connected in one leg and thyristors are connected in another leg. As the cathodes of the thyristors are not together, so separate driving circuit is required or separate gate triggering circuit is required. So the cost increases drastically. But let us see how the waveform will come in this case. So again same thing, let us start from alpha. At alpha, thyristor T1 is triggered. So when the thyristor T1 is triggered, what will be your output? Because T1 is conducting, the T1 will directly come here. So this positive half cycle, because this it will be connected to A and B is coming here. Or we can tell that your output voltage is nothing but equal to VAB. So your output voltage is nothing but equal to VAB. And how the current will be conducted? Current will be conducted like this to the thyristor T1. It will go to your output. Through the diode D1 and B, it will return back to your supply. It will return back to your supply. So now again at omega t is equal to pi. So up to here what is conducting? T1 and D1 is conducting. Agree with me? At omega t is equal to pi. At omega t is equal to pi, after pi what will happen? B is positive with respect to A. Agree with me? When B is positive with respect to A, because this is connected to A, this is connected to B. So this diode D2 will get forward biased. I am repeating once again, at omega t is equal to pi plus, so diode D2 get forward biased, so it will act as a short circuit here. Diode D2 act as a short circuit here. When the diode D2 act as a short circuit, your output voltage will be 0 and the current will be passing through diode D1 and D2. The current will be passing through diode D1 and D2. Now what will happen when B is reached here? You can see that B is connected here and A is here. So what will happen to this thyristor? Because B is positive, A is negative, thyristor T1 get reverse biased and it will turn off. Thyristor T1 get reverse biased and it will turn off. So you can see here the thyristor T1 get reverse biased from pi itself and it will stop. And it will act as a reverse bias and it will stop conducting. Okay. Now proceeding further. So now again at the triggering pulse of pi plus alpha, I am triggering T2. So whenever you trigger T2, now what happens? So thyristor T2 is triggered. So now diode D2, D1 are already conducting. So the current, what will happen now? The current will start passing through this thyristor T2. So how the diode D1 will turn off? The diode D1 will turn off because you can see here VBA, because B is positive with respect to A. This is my VBA. B is positive with respect to A. Whenever the thyristor is acting as a closed switch, this diode D1 get reverse biased, so automatically diode D1 will stop conducting. So now what will happen? Again this circuit or the output current will transfer to the second thyristor T2 and D1 will turn off, so it will transfer to T2. So again when 2 pi, what happens? Again 2 diodes will short circuit. So it will conduct because of D1, D2, and after that again it will repeat the same thing like before. This will be T1 and D1. So we can conclude that during initial period also it is conducting because of D1 and D2. So now coming to the supply current also it will be same. Only when the thyristors are conducting, during that time your supply will be there. So during this time thyristor T1, D1 are conducting, and during this time thyristor T2, D2 are conducting. And from pi to pi plus alpha, during this duration both diode D1, D2 are conducting. That's why no current is taken from your source. So now coming to voltage across the thyristor T1. So thyristor T1 is triggered at an instant of alpha. So up to alpha it is forward biased. So that's why I have represented here. Now again at pi, when both the diodes are short circuiting your supply, so immediately your thyristor will become reverse biased. So from pi to 2 pi your thyristor will be reverse biased. Or we can tell that your thyristor is reverse biased for a duration of omega Tc will be equal to 2 pi minus pi. 2 pi minus pi is nothing but pi, or we can tell that circuit turn off time is equal to pi divided by omega. When compared to the previous circuit, here it is turned off for more duration. That means your thyristor is getting more time to complete its commutation process. So when compared to previous circuit, this is having that extra advantage. Getting it? So now comparing the semi-converter with the full converters. So in the case of semiconductor, we can observe that if you are taking the currents, this is my output current, this is my output voltage. You can see in the semiconductor, so that means semi-converter output current is always positive, and coming to the output voltage is either positive or zero in any type of semiconductor. So we can tell that both output voltage is positive and current is positive. So this semi-converter will operate in one quadrant operation. One quadrant operation. This is for the case of semi-converter. So now, whereas if you go for a full converter, in the case of full converter, the output voltage can be positive or negative, because it is if it is conducting beyond pi, so in that case output voltage becomes negative also. We have seen in the case of full converter, right? So we can tell that your output voltage can be positive or negative, but your output current is always positive. So this is for the case of full converter. So the full converter operates in two quadrants, whereas semi-converter operates in only one quadrant operation. And the second advantage of the semiconductor we are going to prove in performance parameters, the semi-converters will have the better power factor when compared to the full converter because of the freewheeling action. Because of the freewheeling action, automatically the power factor is improved in the semi-converter when compared to that of the full converter. So I hope the semi-converter concept is completely clear to you. If you still have any queries, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. I will answer to your queries from there. Thank you very much.